Let me just make sure we're like.
Okay, all right.
I like doing that just to make sure, you know.
Ah.
What's going on, man? Everyone, welcome. We have the one and only. You may know him as Nowar. You know,
Hello.
introduce. Yeah, we're here. We're just chilling. I was just telling. Do you want to go by your name or Nowar?
um, you can choose either. I mean, I'm fine with either one, whichever one's more
All right.
comfortable.
Well, we're here with Rowan. Yeah, I'm just.
Hello.
We both got butterflies and we're ready to go. But yeah, man. Welcome in everyone. This is Rowan, aka Nowhere Arts. He does some crazy stuff. Do you want to introduce yourself, man? It's kind of like who you are, I guess.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm Rowan or Nowar.arts, comic artist, illustrator, regular artist.
Regular artist.
Anything with anything that has to do with drawing. Really, I do it.
There you go. So you have two. Well, you have more than two titles, but the one that I stumbled upon, how I kind of found your profile and everything was Punch Drunk.
Yeah, Punch Drunk.
And it's about, so mistake me, fix me if I'm making a mistake. It's about Valerie, I think her name is.
Yeah, Valerie Harlow.
Hollow Earth Theory. No, it's pretty much just like a MMA, like a fighting comic, right?
Yeah, MMA fighting comic about a girl who wants to be an MMA fighter.
Yeah, man.
Biggest dream.
I think I heard a while ago that you said a big inspiration on you was Rose Namajunas, right?
Yeah, yeah. Rose, Thug Rose. Yeah, the
Thug
her life
Rose.
story. Her story was very inspiring for Punch Drunk. I thought. Um, I just really liked a lot about her as just an athlete and a fighter, and her entire life story was just very intriguing to me.
Well, I'm not too familiar with her. I know who she is, but I'm not too familiar with her life story. If you want to give that.
Like she was kind of just this really like just kind of this rough and tumble kind of girl who had a pretty rough start, really, um, in life. But she kind of she would work that anger into like physically doing like in the fighting, and
Mm-hmm.
she learned to really just kind of control those kind of emotions, those pretty just wild and angry kind of emotions into fighting, and her fighting became more and more composed, and she in her weight division she became the champ, and fought a very like a person who was trying to play up kind of a character like it was the WWE,
Okay, okay, I guess.
um like the boogie woman is
All
what
right,
she
like
would call herself.
the bad guy, right? Something
Like,
like
yeah,
that.
like a heel.
Yeah.
And her interaction with that woman was really interesting because she remained very stoic and just pretty level-headed, and then beat the shit out of her. Just beat the shit
Hell
out of
yeah.
her. Uh, and her whole life and her trainer as well, um, was just very interesting about how hard she worked to get to that point. And that kind of inspired a lot of the characters for Punch Drunk. I was, very inspired by her name. The reason why one of the characters that shows up named his name is Rose.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Um,
yeah, I didn't even notice that.
was that was a big, which is kind of more of a reference to her. Like also just the fact she had the side of her head shaved,
Yeah.
similar to Rose. Was that at one point in her MMA career she shaved her entire
Her
her
noggin,
entire
right?
head. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she's just it's just so it was less distracting, I guess.
That's cool, man. I really like all the character designs in Punch Drunk.
Yeah,
Um, I know there's
thank you.
probably more inspirations than just her. Like there's all these things like Baki and stuff that I imagine are
Uh,
inspirations.
yeah, there's a bit.
Maybe,
There's a
maybe
bit
not.
of there's a bit. I'd say there's a bit. Let's say I have a lot of things that I really like. That I tried to put into there. I always liked a lot of action
Hmm.
kind of manga.
Yeah, yeah.
I love Kengan, Kengan Ashura and
Oh
Omega.
yeah, yeah,
Those are those are probably my favorite. Two of my favorite, like just favorites.
yeah, yeah.
Um, a very big inspiration to certain designs, and sometimes it kind of shows through with some of the hatching. Was probably Hakuto no Ken,
Oh, right on,
Fist
right on.
of the, like
Fist of
Fist
the
of the North
North
Star,
Star. Yeah.
just hatching and stuff like that. I was inspired by. I just really like that stuff.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I really like the style, man. Overall, the heavy, thick lines and you're. I think you're really good with like action lines and motion.
Thank you.
I really like how you do that.
Yeah.
And
Um, I guess that's where a big. I think that's where Baki was like a very big influence. I would say was just looking at Baki and how motion is depicted in that.
I can see that.
Um, there, there was also I don't know if you've ever heard of a comic called Lobo Loca.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't read it, but I know what you're talking
yeah. Lobo Loca was also really influential on just the overall art style and just in a lot of things that I do. I really admire the art style in that, and I try my best to mix in a little bit of that with the way I just usually draw.
about. Yeah. And I guess how long have you been drawing, if you don't mind me asking?
Um,
If you'd have to, I guess like how long have you been drawing with the goal of like making comics and creating stuff like that?
I think with the goal was all right.
Because when people ask me
That'd
like
be
how long I've been drawing, I have to think like obviously like the majority of my life, right? But then you gotta think like how long you've been drawing with intention, I guess, like striving
right.
towards
How long?
something.
Yeah, yeah, with a goal, or I guess a
Yeah,
goal in mind, like an end goal, or you kind of at a point where you're comfortable enough to say this is a project you're working on, I suppose.
yeah, yeah,
But if I had to say, like when I was, I guess when most people say that, I guess it's kind of like considered you take it seriously, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Taking it seriously,
Taking it seriously in quotes.
in air quotes. It was probably 18, and I made, it was a very old webtoon. But at that point for me, I was just like, I'm gonna be serious.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna be very real. I'm gonna make something for real. And then I abandoned that project immediately.
Is that the detective one you've done, or am I thinking of something else?
uh, that that's another one that I did. The detective one,
Sorry,
but
I'm not. I don't remember the name exactly. I apologize, but
the the detectoid was another one I think I did about a year later after the other one that I made. And
yeah,
then um what else? What was it?
Dragon's Daughter, man. I really like
Yeah,
that
that's when I
one.
made that. That's I think it was the same year that I decided to switch to making Dragon's Daughter because of the I think it was the webtoon contest that was going on for short stories.
Oh, okay, I see, I see.
And I had dedicated myself to just being like, I'm going to do uh an entire chapter pretty much week to week. I'm gonna make a chapter.
Hell yeah, like a challenge.
Yeah, and finish it as a short story, and that was kind of
Mm-hmm.
the first time I knew. I think there was a point where I was just like, for real this time. I was more like, okay, I can do this now.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I can handle doing a I think I can handle doing a story for real.
Yeah, man, I was surprised when I first read Dragon's Daughter, like the theme of each chapter and like how it all came together at the end. I thought it was really like heartwarming. I really liked that when I first read it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man.
It's it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorites. It's it's funny because I guess I'd say it's my favorite because it's also just a project I was able to finish all the way through and stay dedicated on.
Right, right.
Um,
I I kind of understand what you're saying. Like sometimes you want to make something like spectacular, like just something like really cool, and then as you go on, you kind of like I guess get in your own head,
yeah, I
and
get
you
that kind of like
just
what would it be like? Burnout
yeah,
hits
yeah,
a lot harder. It hits a lot harder when you try to kind of like when you kind of try to do that kind of thing. You gotta learn how to.
like pace yourself and just like take it
Yeah,
one step at a time.
it's a
But
lot better. It's a lot better to do. Yeah.
yeah, no, but I definitely like the feel of Dragon's Daughter, man. It feels like one of those where you, like you know I could be wrong, but I imagine it was kind of somewhat for like when I was working on Metallion, my one shot. It
Yeah.
was kind of very much like in and out, like go in, tell it, and then you know
The
wrap
hell
it
yeah.
up real nice.
Right. Yeah, I wanted. Yeah, that was the idea. It was just I wanted to wrap this up, tell a complete story.
Yeah.
Really, that was the idea. It gave me enough
Hey,
confidence, at least, to do Punch Drunk. I guess
hell yeah.
was a big thing.
And
There were a lot of stepping. There were a lot of stepping stones after Dragon's Daughter that led to Punch Drunk, though.
yeah,
I'd
man,
say.
I like that. And your style's developed a lot, man, since then.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have any, I guess, like, what is your background when it comes to like art? Like, have you taken any courses, special courses, or
Um,
just always kind of had a natural ability to draw?
uh, I always liked drawing, even as a kid. I always enjoyed it. I loved comic books, and I kind of always knew I wanted to do something with art, but I never knew what. Um, I think when was it? I'm trying to think about what point it was when. I guess to kind of say a background, I'd say that I went to university for college, or like college for art,
Mhm.
and um out of I think every class that I'd ever taken there, one really stuck with me and was a figure drawing class, and that professor taught me a lot of very important things about art and kind of like figuring out why is something the way it is, more so than just looking at it as surface level.
Mm. I
And that was the whole thing that I think was the most important lesson that she kind of taught me, was that we have to look kind of further
mhm.
than just what we just see. We have to think about the history of something. We have to think about why something is the way it is, not just because it is just the way it is. It has a past. It has a reason. There's a backstory to that. And ever since then, um, I'm, I think I was probably 19 when I did that, and ever since that, like that kind of encounter, I just took that more into account, and I like studied. I just studied a lot of anatomy.
Mhm.
I would study like just how to draw certain ways, how to like I would look into art and comics and just kind of see how that would work and how
Right,
how does
right. You
you know
kind of
how
have
does
to
it
like
work?
get into the head of someone else's head and like think about how they went about doing it, and obviously not like you said, seeing more than just obviously they drew lines and stuff, but like you gotta
Yeah,
see
like
like the
yeah,
thought
like
process.
what kind of process do they go through, and like what do they think of for like history? Like what is their character's history? Like why do they look the way they do?
Right, right.
It's
Um,
just that kind of deeper dive, I guess. That's and I guess I'd say that's kind of mostly just been my background. Is just I've always enjoyed art, but like that there was a point where I was like I want to get better, and that's
yeah,
kind of and it's like that's also a very big motivator, where you're just like I don't like where I'm at right now, so I'm gonna work at it. I'm gonna study how to do it.
yeah, man, that's where I'm at right now. I'm really trying to push through like barrier I'm at right now and go Super Saiyan, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that leads me
You
to
power up.
yeah, exactly. I'm really trying, man. But that leads me to my next question. But before that, that kind of like makes me think of what you said about like studying in school and stuff. I only really took I've always been like a natural, just drawing on my own. And I was in like AP art in high school, my senior
Right.
year, and I think one of the things that like really like really made sense for me and made me look at it a little different, like you were saying, was when our teacher was telling us about shape and form and just like adding things like drawing something in a way to make it look 3D to like to where you can imagine the actual shape and like um just like how it would look in real life, if that makes sense. I don't
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
know. Hmm.
I think a lot of people underestimate like kind of basic, just fundamentals and how much that can just affect how you perceive, kind of perceive how you
Yeah,
do
man.
things. Because
It really is like all being able to like make people perceive things because
yeah,
perceiving and looking are two completely different things.
yeah, you can't, when you look at something, you can admire it for what it is. But I always feel like that if you understand those fundamentals, you're just like, oh shit,
Yeah,
that can,
it's always good to like take notes of something you see or just take something away from it and throw it into your own thing.
exactly, yeah. That's
But
what I like about it. That's what I like about art.
yeah, yeah, man, I be throwing it all in there, bro. No, but that leads me to my next question, man. Uh, your style and overall, just like your inspiration for comics in general. I know you really like Trad Moore.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the man. His
The
stuff. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh yeah. His stuff. It's really funny because I think it was around 2020 when I drew a character and I had no clue who Treadmore was at the time, but somebody told me that I draw similar to him,
Hmm.
and I I was like, oh, I don't know who that is. So I had to
Yeah,
go look him up, and it just kind of became just this instant, just admiration, I guess.
I get that. You started out with his stuff like reading Luther Strode. Is that right?
I did, yeah. I had seen a lot of his art pieces because I looked him up on just Google Images, and I saw a lot of
Mm-hmm.
his just only art pieces, not really any of his comic work.
Yeah,
And
he's done a lot of cool art pieces for like a lot of Marvel and DC.
yeah, Marvel, DC stuff.
I feel like a lot of it's like hidden gems, man, because not a lot of people. I guess I don't see that much appreciation for it.
Yeah, Yeah, I can see that. It's just hard. It's
Yeah,
for
man. It's
a lot of I guess especially for him. It's I wish more people propped him up.
hmm
Um, he has been he's been switching up lately, but I think like my favorite art stage probably from him was Luther Strode,
yeah, yeah,
and Luther Strode became extremely important
yeah, man.
as well.
I guess he developed his style, and I feel like it has less sharp edges, but I think in Luther Strode it definitely has like more.
It does.
Yeah.
I think it was the final run of Luther Strode where I just enjoyed all of it. I really enjoyed where his art had progressed at that point,
hmm
and now I can now the only thing like I really reference and look at for like certain anatomy points are just certain angles that I really like. It is just um it is just Luther Strode final issues really,
Yeah,
and
I get you, man.
that's the big influence
Yeah,
there
there's
as
like
well.
there's a certain magic when it comes to like stylization that when it comes to anatomy, especially like someone who can get the stylization of anatomy and get it accurately, but like push it like beyond where you thought you could like push it. That's there's like big magic there, man.
It is. It's true. It's again with the whole perceiving thing is that
hmm
it's just it's just the fact that I didn't really think of it.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
I didn't think
God
of
damn
it. I didn't
it!
think
Why
of it
not
that way.
fucking think of it?
Yeah, you're like, how did I not see that? The whole kind of thing. Um,
Have you
I think that's why. Yeah. Oh, sorry. What was
no,
that?
no, go ahead, man.
Oh no, I was just saying. I think that's just like that's why it's important to also look at a lot of things. I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. You can really draw yourself in a corner if I guess if you take like if you don't I don't know because there's good and bad when it comes to like looking at a certain artist or a certain style and focusing on like that one. But I feel like there's good and bad there, and sometimes it's helpful to look at other stuff like completely unrelated, but sometimes it can also do harm.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, I get that. Um, sometimes I kind of do shift at times with some of my art, but I always know that it'll kind of at points end up about the same place I was,
yeah,
or at least the same place that I enjoyed seeing the art at,
yeah, I get
even
what
if
you
I
mean,
do
man.
change it. Yeah,
It's
I
always
think
it's like a love hate thing, man.
yeah, I enjoy drawing and like kind of playing around with new styles. But sometimes I'm just like, man, I really miss drawing this way, and then I'll just end up going back.
Yeah, yeah,
And but like I don't think it should be seen as a setback if you practice in different styles or draw in a different way at times. I don't think there should just only be one thing that you have to base your art in. You should be free to experiment with what you want to keep and what you want to take out. That's the whole full process.
for sure, man. I've struggled before, and that's where I'm at right now. It's like you notice your drawings have become like more and more formulaic, where you're kind of just doing the same thing over and over, and then that's when you really want to like, for me at least, I really want to like kind of step out of that, and then not necessarily go back to it, but like just adjust a little, you know.
Yeah, just adjusting. Yeah, I get that. It's always
Um,
just new skills, new toolkit.
exactly, man. It's fucking upgrading your inventory, dog.
Yeah.
Um, have you read his he did a little 6 issue run for a Silver Surfer. It's called Silver Surfer Black. Have you read it?
Oh, I've seen the art for it. I haven't read it.
Oh man,
It's
this
crazy looking.
yeah, the story is it's all right, but the art,
Yeah,
man, he really makes it shine, man. I feel like if it was anyone else, it wouldn't be as it wouldn't be what it is, man.
yeah. His I liked his. I also really liked his Venom stuff. I did like his
Oh
Venom
yeah, man.
comic that he did. It was really cool.
I was really impressed when I saw some of his stuff. Let me see if I can find it. His Suicide Squad stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That stuff. Uh, I was really impressed, like how he did the Harley, especially. That shit's really cool.
I did like how he drew Harley.
Yeah, man. Not in, because it's not like the same thing over and over like other people, but like
Right,
you,
right.
it feels like a
It's
completely fresh, completely new Harley Quinn.
right. Yeah, it's this new this kind of new feel, just new approach. Really.
Yeah, yeah, man. That guy's good, man. Do you have any other like comic inspirations that like you obviously I guess not like I don't know, just anything else you
To
really
rattle off
like?
like a rattle off. I guess to rattle off a few, because I don't want to name like I could name a lot that I like, but they didn't necessarily just like completely inspire me. I suppose. I think Brian Lee O'Malley.
Oh, right, of course.
I think Brian Lee O'Malley was a pretty important one. I really liked his work. Guillaume Singelin, uh, great great artist. Really like Loboloka creator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, I think because I try to at least set it to only like a few people. I don't like to just have like I've got a billion and
Yeah,
I cannot
yeah.
answer the question.
If you that's like the thing like if you admire like so many that you can't you you got a whole bunch like you really don't admire any. Like I guess like you're not referencing any if you reference like
Bits
more
and
than like a
pieces. You can
handful.
it's a point where you can just say, oh yeah, bits and pieces. I can say.
Yeah, it's like a
I can say
Frankenstein
something.
of nothing.
Frankenstein of all these other things, all packed into one, and
Yeah.
they're all my inspiration. I love them all.
Yeah, fucking the stick figure crackhead drawings down the street, those are also an inspiration.
those those are as well. Those are as well.
The the meth head graffiti down the street.
Yeah, the
but but yeah, man. I have some other questions.
yeah. Go ahead, lay them on me. I'm ready. I can handle them.
There was a oh yeah, yeah. So I noticed I guess when you first started making like comics and stories, were they originally on Webtoon?
Um, yes,
Yeah.
yes, they were.
Okay. And how did you like feel about I guess the platform like working a story into the platform of because Webtoon is pretty much just scrolling down.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
did you first start off with like I guess traditional comic like panels and stuff, and eventually work your way into like that style and that formula of like purely vertical, or did you start
Um,
off just like that, like kind of like
so when I wanted to get into comics, I drew like panels,
hmm
just panel by panel, kind of comic pages and stuff like that. And the scroll format for Webtoon became very intriguing to me when I started doing the detective comic, the
hmm
Detectoid, and I but like I hadn't been like really utilized in the way that I guess I use it. I guess that I use it now or when I used to use it. such as with like Dragon's Daughter and Mobius, are catered to that format as
Right,
opposed
right,
to like like Punch Drunk,
right.
which is which I didn't I was more like I want to make a kind of comic feel, or like any of my Instagram comics, I want to
Yeah.
make like page by page kind of feel. But I picked on it, but I think I picked up on the webtoon format a lot faster, and kind of was able to do a lot more creative things with it when I was doing it that way, since I had started on it, and it kind of evolves from Detectoid to Dragon's Daughter,
Mm-hmm.
because Detectoid still has like kind of a panel kind of layout, even though they're just one big, basically panel pictures that I did. To every page flows into each other
Right, right.
with Dragon's Daughter. I like both formats. I think there's a lot of creative things you can do with both, but there are things that I prefer from Webtoon at times, because I feel very free.
Mm-hmm.
Feel very free when working on it on a Webtoon like scroll.
It's interesting. Um, yeah, because I noticed you really know how to work the webtoon platform. And I think it's pretty cool. And then I noticed like you said, your Instagram stuff. It's it's almost catered to Instagram and just the just the size and everything and the layout. It's very
Yeah,
neat.
yeah. Um, I don't like to go. I'm not a big fan of just kind of leaping into a format just blindly.
Right.
You know, just like being like, whatever. I'm just gonna do what works, because eventually comes to bite you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It comes back to bite you. I had figured out a way to format basically my Instagram comics into a more of like page format,
Yeah. I think it
to
works,
make it.
man. I
Yeah,
think
thank
it's
you.
really cool because
I had
I.
because I had devised for Instagram, because it was easiest, but I really liked how to form, like the way I formatted it was I would limit myself to only using 3 panels a page,
Mm-hmm.
3 panels or less a page. So that had to that kind of forced me to try to figure out how to lay out pages in a more creative way than just leaving it inside the panels themselves.
Right.
That's why you see a lot of characters breaking the border, or like the speech bubbles breaking border, so that the page flows, like everything, all the elements of the page flows with like the speech bubbles to the characters and what they're doing in the panels, even though they're very basic. I use very basic paneling.
No, man. Sometimes less is more, like they say, man. And I definitely think it's effective, man. It works, man. I would attribute I would attribute some of your success to the fact that you cater to the platform and you really, I guess, not play by the rules, but like use the limitations to your advantage. I think that's really, I don't know. I like that.
Thanks. It's it's hard at first, I'd say, kind of
Yeah.
getting used to that kind of format. But I think when you kind of figure it out, it becomes more of a breeze. Um, I think I would say like the paneling really started when I was doing a collaboration
Hmm.
um with another Instagram artist, and he was doing this big tournament uh, kind of kind of thing, and I wanted to tell a story as that whole tournament thing was kind of going,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where Enzo came from.
Oh.
Was And that's when I kind of did the 3 panel layout. That's when I learned to do the 3 panel layout, was with Enzo's character fighting another one of my characters. which is a Milo.
Oh, nice, nice.
That was kind of the first time I really used it, and then I used it again with a collaboration piece I did with Harakiri Artist. Do you know who Harakiri Artist is?
I'm not. I think he's here in the chat. No, I'm not too familiar, but I'll definitely look at them after this.
Yeah, we had done a collab um, a few years ago. And that's where Valerie as a character came from.
Oh wow.
That was we had done this big collab. He had a character called Kira. I had Valerie. I have and what ended up happening was we ended up making a comic with those two,
Hmm.
and it was where they just fight. And it started off with like the pan like webtoon kind of paneling thing, and then where it was both of our styles, and we both were working on it at the same time. It was just both our styles together in one canvas, and then we decided to finish it up where we do our own halves,
Oh, okay. I
and
see.
that was when I drew that fighting, that just that a page where these two characters were fighting, like about 10 pages on Instagram, and that was when I realized I was like, I really like drawing this character.
Right on.
I really like drawing her. I would like to know more. I would like to get to know more about this character.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, I guess I'm making this. And that's where, and that's kind of where Punch Drunk came from, was because I was
Yeah.
really
That's.
just playing around.
I feel like that takes in a little bit of truth from you know the what the JoJo creators said in his book talking about like how to make manga and
Uh,
stuff.
Theory and practice.
Yeah, yeah. He has a little bit in there talking about just letting the actor I mean sorry, letting the characters like just act, letting them be themselves instead of forcing. And I feel like I mean I may be wrong, but I feel like you kind of felt her character, she became her own person, and you wanted to do more with that.
Yeah, I thought it was like, even though she's just this character that fights,
Yeah.
is an MMA fighter, and beats the shit out of people. Uh, I just became more intrigued, I guess, by her design and just her sort of personality, I'd say. Even though there's only little
Yeah.
bits and pieces of it you get to see. The fact that she's kind of smiling and kind of a punk, too, when she's fighting, she's very focused and calm.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I guess I guess since we're on the topic of Punch Drunk, what was that? What's that? It was published. It was published. Punch Drunk was published in
Uh,
yeah, it was
was with Shrine Comics.
yeah, Shrine Comics. There you
It
go.
was in Shrine Comics for a period of time.
And, how did that come to be, man? Like, did you hit them up? Did they hit you up?
That's the crazy thing, is that uh I nobody knew they existed. I didn't know they existed. Um, and one day I just got messaged by the guy who runs it,
Right, right.
and he was just like, "Oh, hey, I saw that you're working on this comic and you're doing like promo stuff. It'd be really cool to be on our website." And I was like, "I don't know who you are. I'm scared." And and so I did like a bunch of digging, and I was like, they're not making me sign anything. I was like, all right, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead. You know,
Right, right. Um,
and that's kind of where it started, with just an Instagram like message.
that's cool.
Or like,
I don't know how open you are about talking like deadlines, and I don't know if there was payment involved or not. If there's anything that's off limits for you, it's cool. I'll respect
Um,
it.
I think it's all cool. I didn't sign anything.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and I didn't sign anything. I mean, like, I guess I could, I'll just keep it professional. I don't need any.
Yeah,
I don't like.
there's
I
no
don't
need
have any. I
to
don't have
trash
any.
talk
Yeah.
anyone.
No, I don't have any. I don't have any like gripes with anybody.
Except the whole continent of Australia.
Except for
No, no.
everyone in Australia. I didn't know. No,
uh,
uh,
did you have deadlines when you were working with them, or was it kind of just like
we did.
work
It
on your
wasn't. It
own,
wasn't like strict. It wasn't like strict deadlines.
like fucking Shonen Jump, dude, weekly?
No, yeah, it was just
Jesus,
like you
dude.
need to have the week in this. I actually, I would talk to him frequently about doing more updates and pages, like a week. So the usual deadline for, Shrine, at least at that time, I don't know what the whole thing is right now.
Hmm.
Um, but I know at the time when I was there, the idea was that you need to have this out in like a page a week, at least one
Hmm.
page per week. And so that'd be like 4 pages a month. And it was all inspired by, like, how webcomics, when kind of webcomics were first coming out, I'd say that's kind of what was accepted, really, to me at least.
It's like a
I'm
page
not
a week.
saying like a page a week.
Yeah,
And
that
like,
doesn't
it's
sound.
fair. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
that doesn't
fair. It's
sound that
kind of
bad.
that's what webcomics were, just not as, crazy as Japan. I guess Japan,
Yeah, man.
you know.
That's, the editor's gonna
But
come knocking at your door with a gun, dude.
yeah,
Jesus.
they're gonna they're gonna put chains over the door. They're gonna lock you in. They're gonna lock you in your office. They're not gonna let you leave. But no, that was the main thing. But I would frequently kind of just be like, hey, can I upload more? Because
Hmm.
I was like, I didn't feel like that people would be. For me at least, I knew. For me, I didn't feel like people would stick around.
Hmm.
If I was only doing like a page a week, because a lot for me is that I knew where my limitations were, because I had done this kind of stuff before, where I was just making short comics on Instagram, and it was just like, okay, I know my limitation with the paneling that I use is
Hmm.
like I could probably
I
do
can.
10 pages,
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
like in a week. I would
Because
be able to, like, I could do it.
most of the rest of the titles on Shrine Comics are like standard manga or comics where it's like an actual like page style. But
Yeah.
I can definitely see what you mean now. Cause I was like, what? Well, you're talking right now. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? like, Punch Drunk is good, but like the fact that
Yeah,
it
that's
is like three or so panels each page, that I can see that.
yeah. I was like, I need more. I want to be like, I want to, I can pump out pages, and then I don't need like paragraphs of these characters talking, like monologuing at each other.
Right, right,
I was like, I don't. That's not my writing style.
right.
Um.
Especially if it's like a fighting and action type of comic.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of the times, I mean, for me at least, you just want to avoid as much. I guess not as much talking as you can, but like, there's really no need for too much dialogue,
Long. Yeah. Like this, like
especially
super descriptive stuff.
yeah,
Say.
cause a lot of the conflict is resolved through action. So I don't.
Yeah. A lot of, and a lot of it was just that I was. There's no like crazy power system or just
Right.
insane thing happening that needs to be explained on a page. Um,
And I guess was the pay good when you were under Shine?
um,
Now we're
Well,
getting into the nitty gritty, man.
now we're getting in the nitty gritty now. Uh, I'd say for a page a week, I'd say it was good if you were doing a page a week.
Okay, okay.
I'd say if you're working your ass off and just like working like if you're like doing more than just one,
Hmm.
I'd say it's a bit not good. It's a bit not
Yeah.
very good if you're like producing like this amount of if you're doing this amount of content. I do blame myself a lot for that, but for me, I knew in the long run, I knew that I was just like I want to be able to keep people entertained. I want to be able to tell the story, and I want people to stay. I want people to stick around. I didn't want to just be like, here's a page of they're explaining
Right,
how the
right.
liver works, and that's it. That's all you got for the week.
Yeah, I
you
get
know?
that. Um, guess is that kind of what happened at the end? I mean, and like for the record, this isn't
Um,
to disparage Shrine Comics or
yeah, this is,
anything. We're just
yeah,
keeping it 100, 5150. You feel me?
yeah. I'm just keeping it 100%. I had disagreements.
Oh,
I had disagreements with how certain things were being run. It didn't really have to do with. Uh, it did have to do with some money, and it did have to do with a lot of what would happen long term, and I didn't like
okay,
that.
okay.
And we just I just couldn't really like meet eye to eye
Right.
with the creator. So I was just like, I'll go my
Part
own way.
ways. Yeah, that
And
happens,
that's it.
man. I know a
Yeah,
lot of I know plenty of comic artists who in the end get fucked over with by the people they're working with. So
yeah.
I'm glad you didn't get fucked over, man. And you obviously you did what you thought was the best. So
That yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah, was
but let us not dwell in the past, man.
yeah. Let's not dwell on the past
I
here.
guess my question, and this is kind of just for me, what is the state of Punch Drunk, bro? Because I've been waiting.
State of Punch Drunk.
I've been waiting.
I've been figuring out. I'm trying to figure out a good kind of page amount that I want to upload and something that I can upload consistently without
Mm-hmm.
burning out and something that I can still do other projects with.
Right, right, right.
Um, the current state is that Chapter 12 exists. There are pages of Chapter 12
Oh
that are out there,
shit, dude.
not out there on the internet, but that are on my computer. They're there. I'm looking at them.
And the sus folder.
The sus folder.
Yeah, I got
The
that too, man.
uh the I would say that for me the one the I guess the most likely thing that I'd like to do is because my first goal when I was making Punch Drunk, I was like, I want to have at least 20 pages chapter,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I did for 11 chapters. Was 20 to over like 20 or over 20 pages
Mm-hmm.
a chapter, and I was like, okay, I can do that. Now I'm just kind of like, what can I for sure do? But I'm still able to upload, but I'm not, you know, I'm not dying,
Right, right.
but I still so that I still have enough energy to work on other projects that I want to get done. I want to be able to that I want to be able to do. Um, so I
Yeah, man.
think a good
That's
15 pages a chapter was what I came up with.
that's cool, man.
It's not
It's
not too short. It's not
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like super short, but it's not super long. So it would be I think it's like probably a really good place to kind of put it at. Because I know that I can do that amount without dropping dead.
Right. Just fucking
Especially
end
like
up on the news, dude.
yeah, just end up on the news, you know.
I think I think that's important that like not chewing off more than you can, I mean not biting off more than you can chew, and really figuring out, especially if you're not signed with anyone, you're not working for anyone, if you're just doing your own thing. That's probably the best thing to do, is just figure out what works for you, um time wise and stuff, and not dying, and
Yeah,
not
yeah, that's
burning out too fast either, because yeah.
I gotta learn my. I learned an important lesson when I worked on Mobius about that. Also, just always learning. I always gotta doing these projects. I always gotta learn that it's just like this is my limit. That's it. I can't.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
Me, I feel like it's a part of being able to put like a good effort and like produce something good quality. Um, it's hard finding the balance between that, like good quality and not dying.
Good, like making sure it gets out
Yeah, yeah,
is
because
my
if
best.
you, they say, there's a saying that I feel like I say way too much. It's perfect is the enemy of the good, and like obsessing over making it perfect, and I feel like that really sets creators back, and it limits you from actually pumping stuff out and people still enjoying it.
That's true. Yeah, I think
I feel like do you know Sam Keith?
Sam Keith.
The
Mm,
he did like the first couple issues of Sandman from DC, and he did the Max. Do you know the Max?
yes, I do know Sam Keith's work. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. That guy. I feel like that's a good example, because apparently that was a big thing. Like he would always miss deadlines, and he would turn stuff in late, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
I
feel
heard
like
about
that's,
the trouble.
yeah, I feel like that's
The
part of it. It's just being a perfectionist, and I don't know.
being too precious, being a bit
Yeah,
too precious with it. It's not to say that's a bad thing
yeah. I
to
mean,
keep
his stuff's
fair.
great. I love
Yeah,
his stuff.
yeah. Then it's just that I think a lot of for me when I want to make something has to have a certain necessity out of it too when I'm working on something. That's why I always want to be sure that it's fun to do,
Mm,
at least in some aspect. Even if I'm not having fun, at least I can get it finished.
right, right. You don't want to be working on something you don't value.
Yeah, if I start getting mad at, I don't want to. I'll stop. And I'm like I don't want to work on
Dude,
this anymore, and then I
I,
delete it, and then I
yeah, I
work on something else.
completely understand that, man. Just like inches, like
I don't want to. Yeah.
sweat bullets away from fucking jabbing your screen,
I
dude.
had a again another. That was another thing that I learned, and why I consider the figure drawing class that I had taken in college the most important class ever in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Was that's what my professor would tell me. It was just like, you're not gonna hit a home run when you're starting. You're gonna hit a
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. You're gonna hit a few good ones, but our goal is to hit a home run. That's why you have to keep doing it over and over again,
Right, right.
and eventually you'll be hitting more home runs than you are like striking out. And of course, there'll be a few strikeouts,
Yeah,
but
man.
that's
It's
what's important about like those to consistently get those home runs. And another thing she would say, because she would have us do time drawings, was that she said you can polish a turd all you want. The only thing you're gonna be left with is the polished turd. You're gonna have a really really good looking turd,
that's
and
actually
that's
really
it.
good.
That was the line. And at
Yeah,
first I didn't understand it when I first heard it, and I caught on to it after a while. I was like, oh.
yeah, man. If I like that. That's good, because I feel like it's definitely when it comes to like artists and creative style, like work people who want to do creative stuff. There's that the ambition is there, but like the I guess the workmanship, like the s- strap up your boots and get to work attitude, a lot of times isn't there.
It's hard.
And yeah, man.
It's uh it's it is a hard mentality to get into because it really is just sitting down and doing it.
Yeah, man. My fucking
It's hard. It's
ass
hard.
hurts. My back hurts.
Yeah,
No.
just like you're wanting to do it. You're like, oh, I really want to do it. I really want to do it, and you keep telling yourself that, and then you just never do.
So yeah,
And then you don't do it.
there's
That's the important thing. Just do it. Just sit down and do it.
and there's a big like romanticization, but then when it comes to getting the work done, a lot of people just don't.
It's difficult. It
Yeah,
definitely is difficult. But when you
but
when you
I feel
do
like
when you do do it,
that's what separates those who do put stuff out and get stuff done, and those who don't.
yeah, it's
Be like
it's
that,
a lot
man.
of consistency.
Yeah,
It's also another thing is consistency,
yeah.
not being too precious, just getting your work done.
Damn,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Damn. This is
That's the
this is the stuff you want to hear, man. This is if you're in here watching, man. This is the good stuff right here. Um.
they know, all you guys know,
Well, I'm glad you're still working on Punch Drunk, man. Because that I'm very happy to hear that, man. Because I've been wanting to read more, so I'll be a little more patient.
they're they're I know there are there are people out there. I know them. They
Do you get hate messages from that, bro?
no,
You're
no.
like, where's the fucking comic, dude?
Where is it? No, no, no. I'm always kind of surprised when I do see people sometimes just being like, "Where's Punch Drunk at?" I was like,
Ah, okay, yeah, yeah, man. I don't know. I
um,
wouldn't be surprised though. Some people are fucking insane, man.
yeah, I know.
But okay. So when it comes to like writing story and stuff, what's kind of like your process? And you can, I don't know if you actually write a script. I don't. I just kind of I have a little college rule notebook.
Yeah,
I just do little thumbnails on it, and then right next to it, I kind of write dialogue and what's going on.
yeah. That's a good process. I'd say that's like a very. I think that's the most common process I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
a lot of comic writers do, or I guess artists and slash writer
yeah. I like to call them
do.
authors.
Yeah.
That I like that. That one's coined by a comic buddy of mine, Larry King. He calls himself a comic author because he does both the writing and the drawing.
Comic author.
Yeah, it'll catch
That
on eventually, I think.
I think so. For sure.
But yeah, so like, what's kind of
Um,
how does Rowan do a page or a chapter?
how does one do that? How um, let's see. The Dragon's Daughter wasn't scripted
Mm,
at all.
yeah,
I didn't really need one, I'd say, because all of it was just visual. There was no
yeah, man. That was the exact
dialogue
same.
in it.
Yeah, that's the exact same with Metallion, my one shot. No script, just kind of just happened. But yeah, keep going.
So Punch Drunk and Mobius were both scripted. We both had scripts,
Right.
and both I scripted it like kind of like you can imagine a screenplay kind of, or
Mm-hmm.
like a play, like a theatrical kind of play, where you present the setting. I kind of spend just a few sentences on like I pull up a Word doc
Mm-hmm.
and type in like this location, the characters that are in the location. Okay, and here we go, and then write down which character's speaking, what the dialogue is, what they're doing, and sometimes I just loosely base that like that script, what I'm drawing. I base that loosely off of what I had scripted.
Mm-hmm.
I think the entirety of Punch Drunk Chapter One was scripted. Like I had followed the script one for one. The first chapter of Punch Drunk script was just one for one. No, nothing cut. No, like cutting room floor kind of thing. The dialogue was the way I'd written it in the Word doc, and I had storyboarded it as well.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you right now, I do not storyboard anymore. I,
Yeah.
I can't.
I can see that, man. Cause yeah, it's kind of just like a trial and error, see what works and what really maximizes your flow and getting stuff done.
I um I think it took too much time for me to just be like, okay, I'm drawing the storyboard. Okay, I'm drawing the exact same thing
Yeah,
that I've
yeah,
drawn on the storyboard. I don't really want to do that. I just want to I just want to make the cool thing and make it and put it down there now. That was kind of the mentality. But
yeah. I get that.
yeah, Punch Drunk is scripted. I of course have the people who look over it.
Oh,
Make
nice,
sure that
nice.
I make sure that it's looked over, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do the writing part. I'd say. If I'm not feeling like a drawing mood or I don't really want to draw a page, I'll just start writing down like writing down a few lines of the script
Hmm.
I want. You know, overall for each of the stories that I have, they all have a very clear beginning and end. But I usually don't like really flesh out what's going on in the middle. That's usually just I write it when I kind of feel like it. What I feel
Yeah,
like the middle part should be or what's going on in that middle part.
yeah. I get. I think that's good. A lot of manga artists do the exact same thing. They'll have the beginning, and they'll have an ending in mind, and they kind of just see what happens in the middle. Get
Yeah,
from the beginning to the end. That's where the magic happens.
that's where you get to see some insane things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that's kind of the writing process really. Nothing like flashy or crazy.
right, right. That's cool, man. I've tried doing like script and like sitting down and writing stuff, but I don't know, man. I guess everyone's different. Everyone has their own work flow and like just how
Yeah, their
they.
only way of approaching it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm not gonna say you're wrong, dude, but no, no, no. I'm playing. I'm
You're not
playing.
wrong, but you're wrong. You're
No,
not
I'm
wrong.
playing.
The way you're doing it is stupid. No, but,
And
no, yeah, I learned. Uh,
everyone does it different. And
yeah, everyone does
I've
it different.
seen I follow like two other comic creators, and they'll always post on their stories like writing before they actually drawing.
Yeah.
And like do you know Jim Mahfood?
Oh boy.
Okay, don't worry, don't worry. But the what he does is he'll have his notebook, and he'll just draw all the all the thumbnails all in one like one page, no text, nothing. It's just a little
Oh.
thumbnail after thumbnail after thumbnail, filling up the whole page. So, like, see, everyone has a different, and then there's this lady who does comics. I think she's like Italian or something, and she'll take up uh like half of a page, do a little drawing on one side, on the top. She'll have the drawing, and then what's going on right next to it. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
like everyone has different styles.
Yeah. Everyone has a just a different approach. You know,
There's no one right way, just as long as you can get
as
what
long
you
as you.
want to get done.
Yeah.
But
That's how it is. That's how it ought to be.
yeah, yeah. Um. Okay, we're gonna. I kind of want to switch it up here in a second, but before we do that, I just wanted to ask. I guess what you're kind of like looking at these days, as far as like comics, anime, manga,
Oh. Let's see. Um,
video games, anything.
comics. Oh boy. Um, what was I reading recently? I'm thinking about all that kind of stuff. What was I doing recently? What was I doing? Um, been checking out Fool Knight, the Fool Knight manga. I
Mm.
really, I really like. the that work. I like that. I like the story. I like the art. It's really neat.
Is that full like FOOL or
Yeah, like just cool night. Yeah, it's the I really like the art in it. Um, I was getting back into Ranma and half as well.
oh nice.
Ranma and half and some recently got into reading Inuyasha. I've never read read or really
That's
like
the
read that.
same author, right? Same
Yeah.
creator. Yeah, their stuff is sick.
Um, Video games. I've been playing a lot of Guilty Gear.
Oh nice.
A lot of Guilty Gear Strive. I've been playing a lot of Strive.
who do
Uh,
you who do you play as the most?
Axel.
Oh nice, nice. Very
I
nice.
love very very cool. I know that that I've offended everybody. I like yeah, the Axel. Uh, watched keeping up with a lot of movies, a lot of action movies. I'm always find myself watching like a Jackie Chan flick, or
Yeah, I was about to say fucking those old Jackie Chan movies are the best, man.
I love them.
I
What else
like
they did
I really like what is it? Wheels on Meals, man. That one kicks ass.
as a great finale, great
Oh man,
great final fight.
I
That fight he had
with
Benny
Benny
the
the
Jet,
Jet, man.
it is crazy. It's
Yeah,
like the
dude.
best fight. One of the
I really like all those the Samo what is it? Samo Hung,
I think yeah, Sammo
Yin
Hung.
Biao, and that trio, man, is something else. Like Lucky,
Sammo Hung is crazy.
yeah,
Those two got out
at
just
the Lucky Stars films. Those are so good. Not the anime. What the fuck?
lucky stars.
Yeah, it's like them the trio, and it's like more comedic.
Yeah, the yeah.
Or I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong. No, yeah, My Lucky Stars. Yeah, man,
My lucky stars.
it's got some good stuff, man. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, man. I'm very happy you were able to join us, man. I've still got some questions. Hmm.
Yeah.
So, how did you go about creating Enzo, dude? I know you said it was part of a contest. I think.
Yeah, it was
Well,
I don't
I
remember
guess a
what it
better
was.
way to start this part out is like you're working on a webtoon Mobius.
Mobius.
Yeah, man, that shit it's the shit, man.
Yeah. Mobius the project.
the project, man.
I guess. So like I said before, that was Enzo came from like this very interesting contest where this guy um goes by Scion on Instagram held
Dude,
this contest.
I went to high school with a guy named Zion. Sorry, keep going.
Oh. uh and it was interesting because I had entered a character that I had just made up. You know, there was no like other existing characters that I used except for Valerie and her coach,
hmm
which that was just I was like I didn't really know what Punch Drunk was at that time either, and that kind of I guess if it was even part of the Punch Drunk world, I don't know. That was the whole thing. That was the idea of like Milo being in that world,
hmm
but the contest was just kind of like this luck based roll dice, see who beats the other person, you know, kind of RNG kind of contest
Yeah,
with dice
yeah,
rolls. And my character was beat in like the second round.
yeah.
And It was by Harakiri artist's character, and I think there was no better way to have had a character lose than by his character. And what ended up happening was I had him go on this. I had Milo go on this rampage. That was the character
Mm-hmm.
I'd entered. He has this black spiky hair that covered his eyes, and he just goes on this rampage. Just starts just injuring a bunch of people in the contest, like security guards and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay, I just need to make a foil for this character. So I was just like, well, it would be like the opposite of who this character is. And I was just like, I'll just make like this guy has a long, white kind of, shaggy hair. He has like the spiraled eyes. He's a boxer instead of like the grappler character that I had
Mm,
made.
it's cool.
And yeah, the idea was just like, oh, I would just make an opposite character, and he was only supposed to be for like the contest. Really, I wasn't really thinking of like doing anything else with him. Really, that's how most of my that's how most of like the things I work
I
on.
get
That's what happens.
you. I get
That's what
you.
happens.
Is there
But
is there kind of like a process for you when like designing characters?
uh, kind of. I like kind of start with their background and what they do
Mm-hmm.
and what they kind of represent
Right, right.
in terms of I guess
Like what's
the
their
like
role on the story, kind of
yeah
like
what's the role,
a chess
what kind of
piece.
life have they led. Yeah, that's like what kind of essentials are there to knowing all about this character without having to tell you what they're all about.
Right.
And that was kind of the process with the first idea of Enzo. Um, I had fleshed it more out to where I was just like, oh, he's kind of like a guardian angel almost. Um, and the way I had like paneled it when I was making that comic in the contest that was made like just during the contest at that time, he beats up and just pretty much just beats up Milo and
Mm-hmm.
wins against him, stops him from hurting other people. And it was a long process of just for me just being like, this character is really cool, and I'd like to do more with him, but I don't know what more to do with him. And finally, when I was doing Punch Drunk, and I was like, I think a few chapters in, I was just like, oh, I'll make a younger looking Enzo. I was like, oh shoot, the younger looking Enzo looks really cool, and more of the just kind of more of the angelic themes that I had wanted to express with his hair having kind of wings on the side of his head.
Mm. See,
Um,
I didn't even notice that. That's cool.
him being in all white, just kind of
Right.
having that.
Yeah. When I was looking over earlier today, I was like, he's kind of has got that like purity feel. He's all white. He's got like a good heart. Like in a world like for Mobius, in a world full of like all this messed up things,
Like, yeah, the messed
he's
up.
like
Just
the moral compass.
yeah, like in a way, yeah. That is that that is how I could view him. And it's just the fact that he's in a messed up situation being in where he is, just that whole idea that he is like the police to the like just this underworld.
Mm-hmm.
Um I just imagined, as opposed to what he initially was kind of like this laid back guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's more in his younger version. He's more like high strung and just always just has this kind of serious demeanor almost at all times because he just lives in a very dangerous world. He leads a
Yeah,
very dangerous lifestyle.
he's hard though. He hard.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
get what you mean.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the
Um,
that was the whole thing. Yeah.
do you ever get worried? Like I know it's happened to me. Like trying to make a serious character, and they end up just like being boring. Like I'm not saying he is boring, but like just as the creator, you know, like
There's that fear. I think that fear. My first fear for that was just, oh,
mm-hmm.
stoic characters gonna
And
be boring
guts.
because there's nothing much like Guts a is a great example of like just kind
Yeah,
of stoic character that
yeah,
has so much going on. It's not the fact that stoicism is boring. It's the fact
yeah.
that if
Kind
that's all you're
of,
ever going to show of the character,
yeah, yeah. Like just
you gotta make
seeing
sure he's
that all
cool.
the time.
Yeah, you gotta make sure
You gotta make
he's
sure.
cool. You have to make sure that he's cool, and when he does show emotion, it has that's why it's even more impactful for that
Yeah,
stoicism to be
exactly.
evident.
That's what I say. You gotta rip them apart sometimes.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like if like I like stoic characters because once they show emotion, it's like a very huge moment.
Yeah.
But as as for me, that fear was kind of more alleviated when I had made Odina in Punch Drunk,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of seeing the reception to her was just kind of like people like very serious stoic characters. For some reason, uh, and it's just because it's not like heavily utilized nowadays in a lot of
Yeah.
there's pop culture. There's
A
not a
lot
whole
of
lot of
it's like I don't know. It's like Tumblr, like quirky. Quirky is a good word.
quirky character.
Yeah.
A lot of that was I think a lot of what's important about Enzo's character is that I just kind of made him a character who cares a lot, who does care a lot about the people close to him, the people around him that he's close to, and when that's in danger, you already know it's very serious because it's already this very stoic character.
Yeah.
Um, and he doesn't show like any other emotion other than just being like very, just this very cold and just
He
harsh
hard,
person.
bruh.
He's hard. um,
No, but I get
that
what you mean, man.
yeah,
That's what I'm trying to
oh,
deal with right now, working on characters and stuff. It's you gotta kind of like think about what you want to show, and especially what you want to reveal about them, and it's kind of like a slow burn type thing, especially it's with like stoic characters.
it really is, yeah. Because the the thing about it, the one shot, I guess, for Mobius was that I didn't want to. I was planning on just leaving it on like that's that and that's it, you know. And then all gets wrapped up and there's a little monologue or whatever. Instead, I was like, I'll just have him have this really emotional moment at the end where he feels a lot of guilt
Right,
for what happened in the like in that entire fallout of that story.
the subway man. Oh, that's good, man. I when the days leading up to the release of Mobius, man, I was really excited. I was ready to read it, and it didn't disappoint, man. It was like one of those things, like you're just waiting, and there's something special there, man.
Well, thank you.
And I know you didn't work alone on it. You had some help,
Had help from Human Doberman,
right?
who did a lot. He did a lot for me. I don't think this project would have come out on time if I wasn't working with him. We wanted to try doing something really different with the way the art is, the
Mm-hmm.
way he was like, if we were going to make it a movie, we should totally just use these assets, like these 3D assets, to make it look like
Mm-hmm. For the
just real
real,
photos.
yeah, yeah. I was about to say it feels like very much like film and cinematography type stuff.
Yeah, that was the big motif we were going for in making Mobius. Was just like, oh, if we're going, because I had approached him saying that I want to make a kind of blockbuster
Mm.
of a webtoon for this contest. And he's just like he told me that he really liked the way I like worded it and said that we should make it like a movie as opposed to just traditional kind of comic,
Yeah.
um, just the traditional kind of comic sense. Uh, the way we rendered it, the way we kind of did the backgrounds, a lot of it was just kept in mind using a lot of film technique as well, which I usually use with a lot of my comics.
Hmm.
Just utilizing rule of thirds, certain perspective, certain force perspectives, and just kind of doing that whole thing. I learned a lot doing this. Um, I learned how to work with another person. It was I think the entire I think the entirety of it took about 4 months to complete,
Mm.
and we ended with nearly 100, like just nearly 100, just webtoon pages. Really,
That's crazy,
it
man.
was it was a lot of work. We spent a lot of time, a lot of effort. We were just working all the way through. I don't even think I slept the day we were going to upload.
Whoa.
I think I got an hour of sleep. Woke up immediately and posted it at the time we said we were going to post it at, and then it was out into the world, and we're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, man. That's good shit, man. Did you was there any ever times like kind of like butting heads?
Um, not too often, I'd say. Not like butting heads. I like we both kept each other accountable for when we were
Hmm.
doing something, so we always knew that it's just like we need to work on this. It's time to do it, even if like we're like tired or don't want to. It's just like we got to do it, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
um,
from just reading it and looking over it, I can kind of tell it was like almost the opposite of that. It's like it's definitely a passion project, and
oh
on
yeah,
both
for
sides,
sure.
man.
It was
You can tell a
it
lot of love went into it, and
we worked really uh worked ourselves the hardest we've worked, I think. um I don't really remember, or there hasn't really been a project that I've worked, I guess, this hard on, or just tried to just really have this much focus, like this amount of like laser focus. I learned a lot of my lessons from this, to also not do a lot of what I did, which was just only work on the thing,
mm,
really, um, work on like just doing crazy stuff. Really, just being like, oh, it was bad. The final day was probably the worst day because that was the most we had to do.
mm,
Out of all the other days, because we had finished with the big money shots, where it's just like these are the coolest and most iconic panels that people
mm.
will look at. It was the final ones. Um, it was really bad because I had fun fact, I got sick the final day, and I still had five panels to do. We still had 5 panels to color and render, and I had gotten sick, and my pen broke.
No, no.
So it it was really bad. I was because we would do calls, and in the call I was starting to get on his nerves, on even Doberman's nerves, because I had a runny nose, and I was and then every probably couple seconds I'd just be sniffling. But like I said, this project I don't think would have gotten done or finished if it wasn't for him. We had learned that like a lot of the ins and outs of how to do webtoon, what we can do in the future from this.
Hmm.
But I was lucky enough that he had caught on, just being like, "Oh, if we're gonna have a gradient on all of these," he went back to all 100 of the files that we'd worked on, put a gradient over it, and then sent it back to me, and I was just like, "Okay, we're ready to go,"
Damn.
and then posted it.
Damn, man, that's crazy. That's I forget who said it, but there's this thing that it's like the last 5% of like any project is just as important, or like is worth the importance of it is like the other 95%. Like the last 5% is like arguably the most important part of it all. Which I don't know if it applies here, but that's kind of like just going back and doing all that. There's like you just gotta look over everything and make sure
Yeah,
everything's good.
that's
Yeah.
true. That was the worst part. I just wish I wasn't sick and my pen didn't break. Ah, what it was it was pretty smooth sailing up until pretty much that point, and it
Right,
was.
right.
But we did get it finished. We got it like a week before the deadline was for the contest submissions.
That's cool. That's awesome.
So it was good.
Uh, sorry, man. You'll have to excuse me for like 1 minute. My cat's going crazy.
Okay.
Sorry. Be right.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody tonight? Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, strays? The F cat. Yeah, that poor cat. What is it? You already know the answer. You already know that answer. You already know. Oh. North 2. I don't know. Where is your comic? What are you doing right now? What are you? Where is the effing comic? Where could it be? Thank you, Arakiri. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, good to have you on. It's
Shit, man. That's embarrassing. All right.
all good.
That's cool, man. Uh, so am I? You're still working on Mobius, right? You got a little more coming out.
We got more.
Stick.
We got more. I got more. I got the second one shot.
Right
That'll
on,
be out eventually. That'll be out
man.
there. I am working on a
Secret
Mobius
project.
a Mobius adjacent project,
Oh,
and yeah, I do have a secret project. I can't talk about it though.
that's cool, man. I like those like side projects, almost like spin-off stories that happen in the same universe or whatever.
Yeah, there's the. What I mean, I guess by kind of Mobius adjacent is um you know you know you know Mustang.
Oh yeah.
You know that
Oh yeah.
character. You know
Yeah, I was saving the
you know who
that
the
question for
Strays
later.
is, right?
But yeah, that's cool. So let
Yeah,
me ask, how did
that's
something like that come about where you're like, for those who don't know, he's you're working on a comic on Instagram, kind of with your character Enzo and someone else's character. Yeah, my cat's dead.
that the. Oh my goodness.
where you're using someone else's character, obviously with their permission. But like, how does that like kind of happen?
uh, well, it helps to be really good friends with the person. So,
Of
you know,
course.
that's the part that helps out a lot. Um, so it's it's funny because where do I start? How do I start this?
If it's too much, you know, we don't gotta.
I'm trying to think about where it should start because I could just be like, oh yeah, there's the comic and then that's it. Even though there's more to it. There's more that had led up to the comic being made.
From what it seems to me, it feels like it's kind of just obviously, you know, I don't say to diminish it or anything, but it seems like it's more of a just not for fun, but like kind of just guilty pleasure almost. If that makes sense.
It is. I'd say it is 100%
Ah,
for fun. That I
okay.
had like for a comic, I was having like just like I'm gonna do this because I like action
Yeah,
and I like
yeah.
these two characters. Uh how the Mustang thing came about? Well, um, Strays had this great character that I just really liked the design of.
Yeah, I just said this. I just saw FCAT and then what does Enzo do after Mobius? It's funny.
And so it was funny because the Strays had this character, um, and they had requested me to draw Mustang before,
Hmm.
and I was like, yeah, sure. And then I drew her once, and I was like, okay, this is all right. And then steadily, I just started drawing her more because she's just a really fun character to draw. And it started with when there was one interaction post I had made where they had an interaction with each other, and
That's the one
I was
where
just like,
think
oh wait,
where she's like all bloody.
the bloody one,
Yeah, yeah.
the
It's all right, man.
the
It's
fact that
okay.
these is just so unexpected, I guess, for this character,
Hmm.
and for I guess for me to just be like, yeah, these characters
Yeah.
canonically exist in the same thing, and
Okay.
one of them wants to be romantically involved with the other. Yeah, that'll work. you know.
um,
Um,
and I
it
had
started
something,
as a
but
joke, really, at first. It had been like just kind of this joke.
unless.
It started off. Yeah, that is what happened. That is legit what happened. We're just like, no, this is kind of haha. And then the more I just did of this character, and then making the comic, I was just like, this would actually be cool. This
This is real.
this would be great.
This is
And
actually really good for
this would be
me.
cool. And that's what just I guess also just being able to make a character almost polar opposite of
Hmm.
this already established character that I had made. Strays, helped me out a lot with understanding what the character was. It was just like, thank goodness.
Hmm.
Now I know the character, what this character is all about, and I'll do this I'll be able to do this comic correctly.
Man,
And that's just
that's
what I've been doing lately. Was the big thing that just this adjacent project that turned out to be a lot longer than I expected.
that's really cool, man. It's cool how things like that kind of just happen on their own. Um, I don't know. It's like a happy accident, but also like a nice little something new, something really cool.
Yeah, that is that it is cool.
It's like
I'm very grateful, I'd say, to
two
my friends,
meldings of the minds.
to meldings of the minds, to my friends that that I have, because a lot of these projects probably wouldn't work if I didn't work like with them or just collaborating with them. Really, it was I think that's just it's important. You
Hmm.
know, it was I don't think these ideas would be the same if I wasn't collaborating with these people.
Hmm.
And I'm just really glad that I know them.
Yeah.
they're a good bunch.
I noticed you tend to draw a lot of people's like characters and stuff, and I feel like I got to do more of that. But I don't know. I just noticed that it's really cool, and people really appreciate that too. It's just drawing the character.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the craziest thing in the world, I guess the biggest, craziest feeling in the world is probably just the fact that
Hmm.
you see somebody else draw what your character or
Your
what
baby.
you've done. Yeah, and there's just this surprise, this sudden surprise, but it's also just this great feeling. It's just
Yeah.
I you know I'm usually always speechless whenever I get to see a person's rendition, another person's rendition of something I've worked on. Uh, I appreciate it, and
Yeah.
I'm always hopeful. I'm always hopeful that people that I do fan art for appreciate it as much as I do.
Mm, yeah, so obviously you make comics, you make webtoons, uh,
True.
and damn, you're good at it. But I don't know if many people know that you also dabble in a little bit of a show almost.
I do
Yeah.
dabble a little bit.
You
I
have
do
a
indeed.
show, a web show, I guess you could say.
A
Uh,
web show. That's
dude, I just drew.
dude. I just drew.
Damn, man.
That
You
is
want to
a
introduce that a little?
yeah. Uh, dude. I just drew. Is a show that I that I host. Where we just have a drawing, just this not serious, just drawing contest. Where we just go 5 rounds, 5 minutes on each drawing. Goes for about an hour. Uh, but of course highlights of it, but
Hmm.
it's funny because this isn't just another thing that I had come up with with a friend. Really, he my friend loves editing. He loves to film. He loves to edit. And one day, he just approached me with this idea of just like, hey, we should do a drawing show where I face off against you, but the joke is the fact that I'm bad and you're actually good at art. And I was like, okay. And um, we did one episode, and we just kind of thought that was it. But like, I don't know what it is about like the timing of it, or just the crazy just amount of things that just so happen to align and work out
Hmm.
for that to happen. Was that we had our own studio. We have access to like our own studio for free. That was the
Oh,
first thing.
nice, man.
We had we had like several cameras. We had several people who also know how to video edit and to live stream as well. So we I was very lucky, and we're still very lucky, I'd say, that we still know these people and we still keep in touch with these people, and that they're all in like the same we all live in the same town.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like the biggest convenience. That's the biggest convenience for
yeah,
us, was that. And was incredibly lucky. And I guess we didn't really take into consideration how fun it would be, because we then decided to just keep going with it. And every time we do it, we have a new host. We have not a new host. I mean, a new guest.
Mhm.
We have a new host. We have a. It's me. No, we always have a new guest, and we have some reoccurring guests. It's not the most popular show, and it's not like this heavily viewed show that we have, but it's one I really enjoy doing. It kind of lets me try to be a bit more out there and a bit
Mhm.
more of a bit more of a performer, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Put on more of a performance than just kind of being just the art guy.
yeah. I get you. Yeah, it's weird. Like even I kind of get that when I do like streams and stuff. Usually it's just me drawing because it's just no one's there. But when someone is there, I try to play it up a little and do all this stuff, you know. But
it's it it's so much fun. I
yeah,
I think
it's
it's
fun.
very fun to do.
Um, how do you? Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the studio because I saw like the production's like really like it's not like just another camera in like a
Yeah, we're not
house,
like we're outside
but
a house.
that's really
So
cool. You have your own
yeah,
studio and everything.
yeah, we have like our own like just little studio. It's we know a few people. Like we have a local broadcasting station,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much TV broadcasting station. We became me and my friend were just really just close friends with the people who run it,
Yeah, that's cool, man.
and we've kind of known each other like over a decade, pretty much. We've always just known each other. So doing the show was was just a lot of fun. It was also just good to be around people that we knew, just friends, and just being comfortable enough to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just making a wacky show about people who
A
draw against
drawing,
each other,
running around with giant pencils.
running around with giant pencils down across our downtown.
I guess when it comes to like getting new guests and stuff, how do you find these subjects?
uh, some people request to be on. We've had some people request to be on. We've had some people predetermined to be
Mm-hmm.
on. Um, we haven't done anything recently. It's been a bit hectic of a schedule for everybody, but
Happens.
we do hope to kind of start getting back onto it. I'd imagine that maybe in the summer we'll start it again
That's cool.
because we always kind of have a hiatus. We always kind of have these hiatus times, but then we always get back to it.
Yeah, it's always good to have people who are like down to do like whatever creative type stuff because that's
I,
something
yeah.
I struggle with, man. It's I'm like I'm lonely, man. No, I just usually don't have that many people who are like down, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah. But that's
Um,
here. That's neither here nor there.
yeah. I'd just say we got pretty lucky to just find people who are okay with being on camera.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's the
a lot of people tend to how do you say like they're very opposed to the idea like
yeah, it's just kind of awkward. It's all
yeah,
any interview. It's always awkward. Yeah, I
yeah.
get that.
But yeah, man. Rowan, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
This was a special one, man. I really do appreciate it.
yeah,
Do you want to just push your social media or whatever?
yeah. So you guys can follow me on my Twitter and Nowar Darts, the Z. You can
With the
check out.
Z.
You can you can check out my Instagram, no more dot arts. That's also with a Z. You can check out my YouTube stuff that I do. Dude, I just drew.
Dude, I just drew.
Dude, I just drew. Check that out. Um, You can check out my comics on Instagram as well, but you can also check out my comics Punch Drunk and Mobius on Webtoon and Manga Plus. those are cool places to check them out at.
Is there anything upcoming for people to look forward to?
Be sure to look out for uh, Mobius 2, whenever that might drop. Punch Drunk will come out at some point, and also just be sure to stay tuned because who knows what I might talk about next. Who knows what
Who
I might post
knows?
about next? Who
It's not like
knows?
we spent 10 minutes talking about it.
Yeah.
Nah. Uh, someone looks like someone has a question about Mobius.
Oh yeah,
Zumper.
Zumperg. Yeah, go ahead.
It's gonna take a minute,
Ask
probably.
away. Okay.
But yeah, man. Comics is comics is a very unique medium, man. It's
It is.
uh it's like it's like a in between like film and writing, but it's also like its own thing. There's like Jack Kirby said, bro, you just give me a pen and a pencil. I mean a paper and pencil, and like you can create universes. It's crazy.
That's the joy of it.
I,
That's what I
I
like about it.
that's I don't like the idea that like people think like live action adaptations are like the I don't know how to say like people strive for live action adaptations, but I feel like that's just it doesn't do the source material any justice.
There are a
Usually,
few. Yeah,
usually,
usually
yeah.
there are a few cases that work out really well, and there are other times that kind of doesn't do well at all, and it ruins everything. Oh, Mobius, when is it coming out? The second one, second part,
The Mobius, yeah.
Mobius 2.
When is it coming out?
When is it releasing? Mobius 2. When is it releasing?
I think later.
Probably late. Yeah, later. Yeah, later. I never really gave myself a determined, like a really big determined deadline. So
You
I'll
just
probably
have
talk.
to
I'll
wait and
talk
see,
about it at
man.
some point. You gotta wait and see. At some
Yeah.
point, I will. I have recently, and as far as I could probably talk about it, I recently took on a new project.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna talk about it right now. I
Yeah,
can't talk
that's
about it right now.
he's got a there's a gun to his head as we speak.
There's a
That's why the
yeah.
camera is not on. But yeah, appreciate you, brother. You
Yeah.
guys
Thank you for
go
having me on.
follow him. Let me see.
Oh shoot.
Are there any plans to print versions of your comics?
Uh, Punch Drunk probably is
I mean,
probably the one
technically
I
there
want to
is,
get
yeah.
printed. Yeah, Punch Drunk is the one I want to get printed. It does have like one printed,
Yeah, technically
like
there's
one
already
little printed
printed.
version.
Uh,
Yeah, a little.
I wonder
I do want to
if
get a
it's
full print.
available.
The first one I would say the project I would like to see printed first is probably Punch Drunk.
Yeah. Uh, is I'm trying to see if you can even get it. The one that was in Shrine Comics.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe you get the entrance,
Maybe I don't
the
know.
shrine entrance.
Store.
That's the best
Yeah, it looks like it's there.
example. Okay. Yeah, there's like the first chapter of Punch Drunk. You can
Yeah,
check it
yeah.
out on
Let me put it
that.
on screen right here. You check it out here if you really want.
If you would like to.
Just remember this is Australian, so you know. You know. No, no, I'm
you know,
kidding.
you
Uh,
know.
Technically there is a printed version, but you know.
I'd
It
like to. That'd probably be the first one to be printed. I'd imagine it has
yeah,
enough content to be printed on its own.
yeah, man. Well, I'm excited for everything you have in stock for the future, man. Thank you for joining us here today
Yeah,
as we
thank you.
meet.
Thank you for having me on.
Um, just remember to follow him on Twitter, Instagram, Nowar Arts with a Z.
With the Z.
And don't forget to go ahead and support Human Doberman as well on Twitter and Instagram.
Shout out to Human Doberman.
And yeah, thank you, man. I'm
Yeah, thank you.
gonna wait like 15 seconds so that the stream doesn't cut us off early.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah.
You sell a bunch of these? I'm not gonna answer that. I think that's just a shrine.
That's like a shrine info stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know.
But yeah, man, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining us on
Yeah.
this Friday night when you could be doing other things.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for stopping by. It's like-
Everyone has a great night. Yes.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, no problem.